I'm preparing for people to come for me in the comments section. I'd be curious to know how many people actually follow all of the Invisalign rules. If you're one of those people and you're watching this video, I just want to give you a round of applause. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I make videos mostly about my Invisalign experience with a few other types of videos sprinkled in here and there. So if that's something that you're interested in, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this. Today I'm coming to you from my bathroom and you're currently sitting in my open bathroom window. So if you hear the wind and birds and trickling water, that is coming from outside. Hopefully it's more relaxing than it is distracting. But today I want to talk about Invisalign rules that I do not follow. So some of these are rules that all dentists and orthodontists recommend that you follow when you have Invisalign. And some other items are just things that are unspoken rules that I think most people follow. I know I'm taking a little bit of a risk by making a video like this because YouTube comment sections can be a little bit ruthless. So I'm preparing for people to come for me in the comments section, but this is just the reality of my experience, and that is ultimately the goal of my channel, is to share my own personal experience and to hopefully help anyone else out there who has Invisalign or is thinking about getting Invisalign. So regardless, I hope this video is helpful or informative to you in some way, shape, or form. So the first Invisalign rule that I do not follow is I don't keep my trays in 22 hours a day. That's a pretty consistent recommendation across the board. Most dentists and orthodontists advise that every Invisalign patient keep their trays in for 22 hours a day. If I'm being honest, I think the reason they recommend that is because they assume people are not going to keep their trays in for that long. They know people are going to have a hard time hitting that. So if they really set the bar high, then people hopefully, if they're not hitting 22 hours a day, they're hitting pretty close to that or striving for 22 hours a day. So people aren't going like all day or multiple days without their trays in, because that's definitely not going to give you the results that you want. From what I've read online, patients who keep their trays in at least 16 to 18 hours a day generally see the same results as people who keep their trays in 22 or more hours a day. So that's usually what I strive to do, is that 16 to 18 hour mark. To give you a little context, I started Invisalign in August of 2021 and it's currently May of 2022. And for the most part, my teeth have tracked totally fine. I'm currently in the refinement stage, so I finished my initial Invisalign treatment and my teeth weren't quite where we wanted them to be, so I got refinements. But that is pretty common for every Invisalign patient, regardless of if you're wearing your trays for 22 hours a day. There's always that margin of error, and it's pretty atypical for people to not have to have refinements. That being said, I don't follow the 22 hour a day rule, and I don't feel like it's negatively affected my treatment personally. One of my neighbors has decided that now is the time to mow their grass, so I might have to wait a few minutes before I finish this video. Okay, I think we're in the clear for now. The second Invisalign rule that I do not follow is the one that I feel like is going to have people coming for me in the comment section. And it's that I don't brush and floss my teeth after every single time that I eat. For those of you who don't know, every single time that you eat or drink anything other than water, you have to take your trays out and you're supposed to brush and floss your teeth every time before you put them back in after you've eaten. My first 2 to 3 months that I had Invisalign, I was doing that diligently. Long story short, the reason I don't do that anymore is because it's just not practical for me. When I first got Invisalign, I was working from home, so it was a lot easier to step away from my work and brush and floss my teeth anytime I needed to. But currently I'm working back in the office and it's not plausible for me to step away from my computer and brush and floss after every single time I eat or drink something. Now, I want to assure you all, I brush and floss every morning and every evening to make sure that my teeth are nice and clean. And the other thing that I do is I keep water with me always throughout the day. So anytime I eat or drink anything, I will swish water around in my mouth before I put my trays back in. And if I'm able to, I will at least rinse my trays if I happen to be in the bathroom. So I want to assure you all that I'm not just like eating a bunch of stuff and then jamming my trays over like nasty bits of food, because I don't think that that would be a good idea and it just wouldn't feel very comfortable or clean. But that being said, I certainly do not brush and floss after every single time that I eat, even though that is something that Invisalign strongly recommends. All right, the third Invisalign rule that I do not follow is kind of one of those unspoken Invisalign rules. It's not anything that orthodontists recommend. It's just something that I've observed in the Invisalign YouTube community. And it's that I don't follow this whole Invisalign diet, only eat 3 meals a day thing. The Invisalign diet essentially stems from the fact that it's a chore to take your trays out every single time you eat or drink. And it's a chore to have to brush and floss your teeth so many times every single day. So for that reason, people stop eating as much. People limit themselves to only 3 meals a day or less. And over time, it becomes a sort of diet because, of course, if you're not eating as much as you usually do, you're probably going to lose weight. Now, in the beginning of my Invisalign journey, I really tried to stick with that. It was really hard for me to get my trays out at first. It was very hard for me to get used to brushing and flossing so many times throughout the day. So I was like, we're just gonna do this 3 times a day. It's gonna make it easier. And hey, I might lose weight. But let me just tell you, that did not work for me long term. I'm someone who likes to eat intuitively. The way I eat can look different from day to day. I don't like to force myself to eat at certain times if I'm not hungry. So I did not fall into the Invisalign diet thing. I eat and drink and take out my trays when I feel like I need to. If that happens to be 5, 6, or 7 times a day, then it is what it is. That's just what works best for me, my body, and my lifestyle. All right, the fourth and final Invisalign rule that I do not follow is I'm not super diligent about changing my trays at the exact date that I'm supposed to change them. So this could look different for everyone, but for me, my dentist recommended that I change my trays every 10 days. Sometimes I will change them out every 10 days. Sometimes I will wait a little bit longer. Sometimes I will only wait a week. It just kind of depends on how my teeth are feeling and how I feel like the trays are fitting. If a week has passed and I feel like my teeth have settled like 4 days prior to that, then I might try on the new trays and just see how they feel. If they feel too tight, then I won't commit to wearing those. I'll go back to my other trays for several days. Essentially, I just try to be really flexible and I try to be intuitive and I try to just pay attention to what my teeth are doing, how my mouth is feeling, and I follow that. Again, you guys know that I've had Invisalign for going on 10 months now. Being flexible with the timeline and changing my trays like this has not negatively affected my treatment. If anything, I feel like it's probably helped my treatment because I'm listening to my body and I'm really trying to monitor what my teeth are doing. That brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope at the very least this video was entertaining. Please let me know in the comments if you related to any of these points. I'd be curious to know how many people actually follow all of the Invisalign rules to a T. I know those people are out there, so if you're one of those people and you're watching this video, I just want to give you a round of applause. I want to pat you on the back. Invisalign's a lot. It's a big commitment financially, but it's also a big commitment to just adjust your life around Invisalign. So for those of you following all the rules, kudos to you, seriously, because for me, it was not possible to follow all of these rules to a T. Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next video.